Okay, so we are on the draw, but we do have the engine and we have a payoff for the engine, albeit not a damage payoff, card draw payoff. So I think we're going to keep here. Probably start things off with a mountain, then go Dragon Skull Summit, and play Cauldron Familiar. One plays Llanowar Elves, T1s. They're probably on, I have to say, Gruul Aggro, considering they played a Pathway also. So the Cauldron Familiar will be good against their non-trample threats, but it's not going to stop anything Embercleaved. It's not going to stop any kind of questing beasts. So it could be tricky. They attack with the Llanowar Elves though, so no great T3 play, evidently. And I mean, with that in mind, they don't have a good T3 play. May as well claim them to slow them down even further. Claim the Firstborn on their elf. You let it happen, go to combat, hit them for 1 with the elf. Sack it for food. Pass the turn. I might have a stomp or something, that might be why they held up, but they don't actually use the stomp. So maybe not. Okay, they play Gallia. Play land, they swing. I guess we'll block. And preserve my life total as long as possible. No need to bring back the Cauldron Familiar now. We could end up drawing a Mayhem Devil and, you know, getting to do some fun there, but we don't draw a Mayhem Devil. So we're just going to play out the Midnight Reaper and we'll pass the turn. So we have the Scrounger here. Not sure how great they're going to be in this matchup. Opponent probably going to be running some Graveyard Hate post board, and the fact that it's a 3-2 doesn't line up necessarily all that great with some of their threats. Okay, we'll see if they attack here. They do attack with Gallia, so we're going to crack the food token, get the Familiar back, have it block Gallia, get us a free card. I guess we'll sack the Familiar just to keep the loop going. Don't have any other creatures I want to sacrifice at the moment. Okay, now they stomp. Sure. So they get 2 cards out of the deal. We find a Mayhem Devil. That's wonderful. Okay. So I can't double spell here, can't play Mayhem Devil and the Scrounger, so I think we just play Blood Crypt, tapped, play the Mayhem Devil. Okay, they just concede at that point. Sure. Okay, so against this deck, Priest could be okay, Scrounger I don't know about. Flame is going to be great, I think. Try taking out the Scroungers, putting in a Fatal Push, a Noxious Grasp, and a Braid, maybe an Active Treason as well. This is interesting. Opponent took 1 mulligan. We actually have ways to get to 3 mana for these Midnight Reapers, and we also have an Oven and a Claim, so this looks like a good hand, and if we get our 3rd land, if it's like a red source, that would be just spectacular. We can do all the things, steal their stuff, you know, get value off the Midnight Reaper from sacking their stuff, so this is a good hand right now, and it could get even better based on what we draw. Opponent mulligans to 5, set out with a mountain, and okay, great, we find a Dragon Skull Summit. So just what I was hoping for, we find on our first draw step. Can't ask for much more than that. We'll take Brawler. Interesting. So we could either play the Citrus Supplier, crack it with the tower, and then play Priest, or we could just play Priest. I think we just play Priest, save, you know, claim, and then Citrus Supplier next turn to rob them of 2 creatures instead of just 1. So we'll play the Phyrexian Tower, hide the fact that we actually have red mana, and pass the turn. I mean, I don't know what kind of removal they'll have. They have a Stomp, we can crack, or we can use Witch's Oven to eat the Priest. And get rid of the Giant that way. Okay, but they use the energy, they pump up their Voltaic Brawler. We're gonna say no blocks. So we'll take 4, go to 16. See what plays my opponent has. Okay, so they play a Ramanap Ruins. Go to my turn. I mean, I guess here we can just claim them. And see what they do. I mean, they only have 3 cards, so no point in just taking a bunch of damage repeatedly if they're just going to try to stall the game, right? I guess I'll just go to combat, hit them for 4. No energy to pay. Okay, hit them for 4. Now we're going to crack the Brawler and play Midnight Reaper. We still have Witch's Oven held up too, so we can sacrifice something in response to them using a kill speller, doing other mean things, but they don't play anything. Okay. Maybe they have, like, you know, some questing beasts in hand or something. We're gonna play a Fable Passage, go to combat. Get my opponent for 3. Opting to keep up Priest at this time, in case they play a questing beast or something. But we're gonna crack the Fable Passage, get another land. I guess we'll get a swamp because we already have another mountain in hand. We can play. I would be mindful of the auto tapper there. Play the Midnight Reaper. Second copy. And they just concede, okay. Tough game for my opponent. They missed out on good hands there, clearly. We're gonna play first. Seems like a decent enough hand. Opponent has a rather conspicuous name. Red deck wins. I wonder what they're going to be playing. But we'll go first. We'll keep. We have Priests, we have Reaper, we have an Oven. So we just have to find, you know, a nice Cauldron Familiar we can get the ball rolling. Or any kind of other cheap creature that I wouldn't mind sacking to Priest. But like I said, we're going to start off with a Witch's Oven. Get that engine at least partially in place. The opponent plays a Mountain. They play a Fervent Champion, so seems like their name was in fact truthful. They are a red deck wins deck. We'll play our Priest. We'll pass the turn. Play Carry Zeb. Okay. They don't attack. Makes sense, I suppose. We can play a Mountain. And play out Midnight Reaper. Pass the turn. Play Ramanap Ruins. They still don't have enough for Embercleave, although I guess if they attack with everything, they get the token. They could Embercleave. Let's see what they do. They do attack with everything. I could say no blocks, because I don't want to get Embercleaved and have some of my stuff killed. Plus, you're only gonna have 2 creatures, so Priest is gonna be pretty brutal. Okay, yep, there's the Embercleave. They're gonna probably attach it to the monkey. That's a bold move. Big damage move, but bold move nonetheless. Gonna have to pay to equip it next turn. Okay, I got to equip it to the champion. Okay. So we don't get much in the way of help from our draw, but I don't know that it's going to matter which land I play. I think I'll just play a Castle Lochthwain. We'll play the Scrounger. We'll go to combat. Swing 3 at my opponent. Crack the Priest. Sack these 2. So we'll draw a bunch of cards. But 3 cards. Lose 2 life though. Well, that's gonna be nice, the Mayhem double. You can survive until next turn. So just play it now. Champion of like a... I guess that wouldn't matter if I had a Phyrexian Tower. Wouldn't want to sack my whole board just to stop a Fervent Champion. So they can Castle Embereth here too. That's something to keep in mind. They can get me a 3 if they tap out all their mana. Wouldn't be great. Maybe we don't block. Okay, so we take 4. They play a Burning Tree Emissary, okay. They have 4 mana. A Shatter Skull Smashing on the Priest. I guess we'll have to sacrifice it. Dealing 1 damage to my opponent, I suppose. Find another oven. Well, we can play the Fable Passage. We can... play the Midnight Reaper, I guess. It's kind of risky, but I need to start dealing some damage to my opponent here. And I guess we pass the turn. Not playing the Witch's Oven, so we have something we don't mind sacking. Or we can also sack the food if need be. We'll block there on the Emissary. Back to Fable Passage. Getting the champion for 1. Getting another swamp, I guess. Scrounge. Or I guess the safe play is just to gain the life here, so we'll do that. Get up to 8. We down to 7 again after the Reaper dies, but clearing out the board seems good. Okay, they play a Chain Whirler. And equip though. We do find another Fable Passage. So cracking the Fable is going to be 1 damage. We can crack a Scrounger and gain life off the food to deal 2 more. So I guess we'll just do that. Guess we'll just pass the turn. Probably better to grab a Scrounger again or something. Okay, they conceded that, so careful play. Eliminating their threats was enough to succeed. Okay, we're gonna want to bring in Fatal Push, a Braid. Maybe take out the Midnight Reapers, because they're gonna be doing kind of double duty for my opponent. We're gonna try bringing in Sky Sovereign here. I'm not sure that's the right call, but we'll see. Okay, well, this looks like an okay hand. Cauldron Familiar, Witch's Oven's gonna be a nice way to start the game off. I have to hope they don't have an Abrade or something, but... Oh, well, there's a Grafdigger's Cage. With that in mind, I guess I'm glad I brought in the Abrade. Start with a Robber the Rich. So we find a... Okay, not great. Woe Strider. Play a Mountain. And play Priest. And it swings 2. Say no blocks. And I find a Cauldron Familiar of their own. That lovely. Play the Familiar, of course. Back the Priest. Get rid of the Bone Crusher. Guess we'll just try to play out what we can. Oh no, the Abrade! Brutal. Brutal, brutal. Got the Familiar here. The other Witch's Oven. It's a tough spot to be in. T1 Grafdigger's Cage on the draw is, some might say, backbreaking. Maybe just don't block here. We do have Sky Sovereign in a couple turns, so be a way we can succeed. Potentially. And crew it. But, okay, opponent Woe Striders, so they've got a looming board. Let's get more Fable Passages. You just pass the turn and brace for impact. Okay, that's gonna be it. We'll just go to game number 3 here. Get on the play this time. Take out a Sky Sovereign, getting an active Treason. Well, that's the thing too, right? Like, my opponent wasn't having too many burn spells. It seems like mostly just stomps, or maybe, I don't know, something else decided in. So maybe Midnight Reaper, I should be keeping you in, putting a couple in, just if we do get, you know, if we do get Grafdigger's Caged again, we aren't going to be too dead in the water. It's kind of hedging bets a little bit, and get an alternate win, just having to rely on that Cauldron Familiar combo. We'll play first. This looks like a nice hand. We have red and black. We just need a third land source. Also the Stitcher Supplier to fill the bin a bit for Woe Strider. Escape cost. Okay, let's see what we mill. Would have been, okay, a land next turn, that's a shame, but when it starts with a Bowmat Courier, are they gonna attack? They do. We will block it. Okay, we'll get our third land anyway. It's fine. We'll have a play with Scrappy Scrounger. Can exile a priest or something. Want to place Karizev. We'll get rid of the supplier. We don't have any free sacking abilities yet, so we can't get rid of Karizev at the moment. But what we can do is play Mountain. And I guess play the Midnight Reaper to increase the likelihood that we get our fourth land. We can play Woe Strider, claim, and go that way. Well, I guess perhaps the better version would be claim first, then play Woe Strider. Opponent plays Annex though. They swing with their monkey. You want to block? No, I don't think we do. I hope to get that next land. We do. Yes, we get there. We get the Fable Passage. We get to crack the Fable Passage. We're all tapped out, so they can't do anything cruel with their Annex. They can't, you know, kill it before I can take it or anything. So what we're going to do is claim the Annex. We are going to swing for 8. We're going to play Woe Strider. We are going to consume the Annex, and they just concede at that. Red deck does not win today, red deck wins. Nice try. They run the play this time again. Ooh. We have to mulligan the one lander. Looks better. We send back a claim. So it's a tough call between starting with the Fabled or going with the Blood Crypt. I think we'll go with the Fabled just to ensure we get Scrounger on curve so we can start doing at least some aggression, even if we don't hit that next land drop. But okay, we hit the next land drop, so ignore me, I guess. Play the Scrounger, pass the turn. Okay, opponent plays a Hinterland Harbor. They bot sees me, okay. See what they take. Probably Mayhem Devil. Yep. Okay, we'll play the Blood Crypt, Bapt, play the Witch's Oven, go to combat, and maybe I should have played that untapped in case they use like an Eliminate on my Scrounger. I could, you know, recur it. See what they do. No, they just play Uro. Although I guess they could still like Fatal Push or something after that if they plop down a swamp. But they don't put any lands into play, so it seems like they are short on mana. Fine by me. Find another, claim the Firstborn with my draw for the turn. Grab Gigantha, and pass. Play another Uro. Okay, maybe they didn't find a land drop again, and they're desperately searching for one. I think they found one this time. They're a bit of a pause. And they plop down a Fable Passage. Up to 3 cards in their library, or in their graveyard. They play another land. It seems like they found 2 lands this time, one on the draw, one off of the Uro trigger. Go to combat here. Gigantha should be outside the range of Fatal Push. Seems like they may be deciding to Fatal Push or not. But whatever they were deciding on, they don't do it. So we'll play the Swamp, we'll play Gigantha. There are different CMCs for the sake of Extinction Event. They don't crack their Fable, trying to, I guess, ensure they have a better chance of hitting more lands, trying to thicken their land supply a little bit by not cracking where they draw. They play Aether Gust on Gigantha. I guess I'll put it on top. Crack the Fable Passage. And yeah, the triggers, they know about the one claim, but they might not know about the, might not suspect the second. Imagine they won't, unless they Foxy's me again, but Gigantha is going to be putting a lot of pressure on them. Okay, so they Growth Spiral, they find another land, another Fable Passage, so they can escape Uro next turn if they want to. I am a graveyard, probably seeing if I can reanimate Scrounger next turn, and they'll see that I can if I want to. They'll probably hold up their removal until I commit to Gigantha. Okay, so they Fatal Push. I think we say that's okay. Play Gigantha. Crack their Fable Passage. The forest. They're probably planning to escape Uro next turn. Sure, they have 2 blue. I mean, if they escape Uro, though, they know I'm going to take it. They play Nissa. Okay. They still know about the claim. I mean, maybe they're hoping I use the claim on their land instead of on Uro. They still have something they can do. Okay. Play claim on their land. Counter target non-creature spell. Negate would do it. So if I claim again, it's a question if I want to take Uro or not. They're at 9 cards, right? So they're gonna have to exile 5 other ones. They're gonna have what, 3 cards apart from Uro after that. And it's gonna have another one. They have 4 cards apart from Uro if I kill Nissa. Question is, what's the other card in their hand? Unclear. No clues there. Guess we're going for the attacking them plan. Attacking them and stealing their Uro when they cast it back. And bolt in a breeding pool. Are they gonna go for a big Crisis? That would be nice, actually. That might win me the game. No, they just play Uro. Okay. Just Uro. So they draw a card. It's not a land. What else they do here? Are they going to animate another land? They animate the forest.
The elements.
Oh, it's a big Crisis. 9 Crisis for 9. 7/7 flyer. Okay. Gain some life. They go to 14. Bottom that. And a cat. They have 3 cards in their graveyard right now. And claim Uro. That's going to be gaining them life every turn. That's kind of what we need to stop. On the crackback there, they're going to have 9 plus 7. So they're going to have me, at 4 at the moment, but we're going to gain some life back from the familiar. I think we still take Uro here. I think we just send everything. See what we draw. Send out my opponent. Try to just kill them quick. Hit your supplier. Yep, they block Uro. We will sacrifice Uro to the cauldron. My opponent will take 8. We'll play Stitcher Supplier. Play Cauldron Familiar. My opponent is at 5. They are perilously low. They can't cast Uro again because they need some more cards in their graveyard. You can sack the Cauldron twice, have it enter back twice, using Woe Strider to get them to 3. And then we'll have them at 2 next turn if we crack the Cauldron with the Cauldron Familiar with the Witch's Oven. So they're really low. They do have 3 blockers at the moment. And they Growth Spiral, so they got 1 more card in the graveyard. They don't have another green source. I guess they could animate Hinterland Harbor. Okay, no, they animate their breeding pool. Okay, they swing. We'll block one of those with the familiar. Sack it with Woe Strider. Bottom of Castle Lochthwain. Don't need that right now. Aethergust the Gigantha. I think at this point we just want to sack it. We need to just find maybe another oven or a... Oh, there's another oven. Something like, you know, Mayhem Devil. Help get us over the finish line. They recast Uro. So okay, maybe that's not what I needed. Then we kind of need to find another Claim the Firstborn. Get rid of Mayhem Devil. Yeah, we just need to claim the Hydroid, hit in the air, use the familiar from the graveyard to get the job done. Bottom that. They still have something they can do though. I mean, they have Castle Lochthwain, but... Okay, is Mayhem Devil good enough? So each of these sacrificing is going to be 2 damage, so 2 for crack the... Cauldron again, that's going to be 2 more. I think it is. I think it is good enough. So I think we'll try to just take it and see if they... Assume they don't have a Aether Gust. If they have another one, then we're just dead. But, I mean, they already have used 2. We'll see. Here's to hoping. Okay. I'm gonna try it. I guess we can start with this Scrounger, huh? Because that's not really part of the combo per se. Although we do have I don't know, try to get rid of Mayhem Devil while Cauldron Familiar is still on the stack. The ability we can. That's not gonna be enough though. I think we should go for it. You have to try it. Assume that they don't have any way to respond. Okay, they do, of course. So Cauldron Familiar is entering at the moment. Get rid of Gigantha from the graveyard. We can crack the Scrounger, make another food. Might not be enough damage. see. It's gonna be close. They might be one off. No, I think we just get there, huh? Ooh, boy. Just enough damage. Ooh. Man, look at that board my opponent had. That was a close one. That was a close one. So, I've been saying I haven't been liking Priest in this matchup, and I think that's still true here. Bring in some Noxious Grasps, Thoughtseize or two. Flame, as we saw there, was pretty effective. Taking Uros, taking their Crises are pretty good. And Midnight Reaper too I like, just because if they play Eliminates or Heartless Axe, right, we can still have our spells cantrip at the very least, not get much value. I mean, for the same reason, like the Scroungers too. So they kind of get, we just saw that kind of get just blocked by the Crises or by lands that they can just continually mass produce. So maybe I should be trying to think about that. I can get one Scrounger for another Thoughtseize. We do have a Thoughtseize here in the opening. I think we're going to bolt in Blood Crypt, play Witch's Oven, T2 Thoughtseize. And then we have T3, we can play like Midnight Reaper into Mayhem Devil, Mayhem Devil. But a Growth Spiral, so they can do the Growth Spiral into Thoughtseize. That would be tough, that would be mean. Okay, they don't do that. And a Noxious Grasp as well, that's kind of nice. And like I said, we're going to Thoughtseize, see what they're working with. Uro Maelstrom. Maelstrom Pulse. I think we hit the Maelstrom Pulse. Protect my double Mayhem Devils. They play Uro. Oh, also protects my Oven. Just going to be a good engine if we find a Cauldron Familiar with the Midnight Reaper. And also the fact that we have a Noxious Grasp too means we're not too worried about them getting a resolved Uro. Okay, we're gonna Midnight Reaper. Are they gonna Essence Scatter it? Get a Swamp. Already up to 5 cards in the graveyard too. In the forest, so no counter. Could be an Eliminate. Okay, Heartless Act. May as well sacrifice it to get a food. Yeah, we get a next land drop too, that's nice. So opponent could get their Uro here, they have just enough mana. They do have one in hand still though. Okay, they just cast Uro. Find a land drop with that though. Get a Watery Grave. Like Grapdigger's Cage. Play Noxious Grasp on their Uro. Play a Fable Passage, play the Familiar. Pass the turn. They play an Uro. The 28 life, that's a hefty amount of life, but they don't have any other land drops. It's good and bad, I suppose, when you think about it. Play a swamp, and go to combat. Swing one at my opponent. They Fatal Push the cat. Wasn't expecting that. We care about the sack. Just back up for food. I had a Mayhem Devil. Aether Gust. I guess we'll crack the Fabled now. They aren't going to have any one-drop things that we care about. We may as well just get the effect out. They're looking at their Uros, but they can't recur them, so they get rid of the Rakdos Cage. They just cast a Shark Typhoon. Okay. We'll play Mayhem Devil. Pass the turn. Yeah, they play Nissa. That's a good one. Animate one of their lands. Swing, we'll say no blocks. Get a Woe Strider. Probably good enough. This is a tough spot. Engine's off. They have a good board. Burrow's off the table, but this is the pressing threat. The Shark Typhoon is going to be just tough too in the long run, getting free spells all the time, like that. So I think here we're just going to go to game number 3. We can't deal with that many sharks, especially as they're providing so much pressure. We're going to bring in a Braid. I guess we can take out a Noxious Grasp to replace that. Maybe we trade out one Reaper for a flagship. Doesn't look terrible. Witch's Oven, Cauldron Familiar, Noxious Grasp. Some action. Okay, they start with a Tomb. We will Cauldron Familiar. I think we just go for it. We risk getting Maelstrom Pulsed onto 3, but you know, you have to kind of go to the races here. Usually Maelstrom Pulse is only like a 1 of or a 2 of max in these Sultai lists from what I've found, so I think the odds are low of them having it at this point. And we're going to be careful here about not exposing the familiar. We don't have a way to easily sacrifice it or make it more food. So we're going to play a Blood Crypt, we'll bolt it in. We'll play Woe Strider. Resolves, so no counter spells. Looks like they have a kill spell of some kind they're seemingly holding off using. Not sure why though. Maybe they're trying to save it for a Mayhem Devil. Maybe they're just gonna like Fatal Push it this turn after Uro leaves. They revolt. Maybe they're going to Thoughtseize me. I guess we'll just get that back. Let's bring the cat back this time, since we have more creatures to sack. And we want that extra damage. We'll go to combat. Swing 4 at my opponent. Play a Blood Crypt tapped, hit Gigantha, pass the turn. But if I play Nissa this turn, it could be great for me. We attack with the Woe Strider and the cat. Sac. Okay, so they do play Nissa. They animate their overgrown tomb. They attack me for 3. I guess we'll just block the cat. Okay, so the Heartless Act on the Woe Strider. Do we want to do some scrying? Probably a good idea. Gotta find like a Mayhem Devil. Bottom of the land. We'll find another Fable Passage regardless. Well, Noxious Grasp, Nissa. Only 2 cards in my graveyard, so not enough for Woe Strider. We'll play the Fable Passage, we'll go to combat, hit them for 1. Pass the turn. They have 3 cards in their bin right now. They get their second green source, so we have to start considering them getting Uro back. I play Krasis for 2. It's a kind of a desperate move, but they don't find another land. Oh, I guess they just played the Try on this turn, so they couldn't have gotten another land. Or couldn't have played another land if they had gotten it. We'll keep the Cauldron Familiar down in case we find something. And we do find a Midnight Reaper. I think that's going to be just what we want to refill our hand. We could do it now. At least sack once now. We are kind of exposed to an extinction event at the moment. So we could find something like a... I guess even if we found like a Claim the Firstborn, wouldn't be that great here because we don't have any sack outlets if we sack the College Familiar twice. So I think we just, for now, hold tight. 2 cards at our disposal. We want to. Though I suppose they could remove the Midnight Reaper in response. I play Witch's Vengeance. Just sacking now. At least it's on exile effects. We're still going to card off of Midnight Reaper as well. Find a Stitcher Supplier. Seems like an interesting card to bring in against Rakdos Sac as opposed to goblins. I guess there are a lot of zombies. At least it's a horror. That's a zombie. Ignite though. Get a nice hand refill, although we don't find all that much, unfortunately. One is at 9 as well. They have 4 cards in the yard. And if Phyrexian Tower. I guess we'll Stitcher Supplier. Find some Scroungers, okay. Play the tower. Woe Strider. Or we could double Scrounger. But we only have, what, 5 creatures in the graveyard? Maybe we just play Giganta. And if they try to kill it, we can sack it, do Phyrexian Tower, and have mana for the Scrounger. Okay, so they use Aether Gust. We'll decline. So you're still at 9 life. They haven't hit their Grafdigger's Cage yet. But if they do hit one, it's going to kind of limit their life total. Just because they still have Uro in the bin, haven't gotten it out yet. And they have 5 cards in their graveyard. They had Krasis for 4. If they swing with the 1 on 2. They don't. Okay, so we can, I guess, crack the Supplier, get back a Scrounger. Get rid of a Midnight Reaper. Loop again, get them 2 life lower. Throw those cats into ovens. We have a Fatal Push. They have something they can do that's 1 mana. What else but Fatal Push on 1 green or 1 black mana? And another Midnight Reaper. Guess we'll just play it. We crack a Scrounger for mana. And a card. Maybe we find a flame. Nope, we find another another Scrounger. Play Woe Strider. 1, 2, 3. We lost our Braid too, that's tough. Scary. But now we can at least do some scrying. We have additional, free sacking effects. Even if they play Grafdigger's Cage, if we can just dig enough for... Okay, well they do the Maelstrom Pulse, they finally find it. There's a double. Okay. There are 5 life. We're gonna have a whole bunch of creatures next turn. So as long as they don't counter the Mayhem Devil, they get back Uro. They get to 8 life. Okay. So we have 8 mana. We're gonna have 9 mana next turn. 3 of it's gonna go to Mayhem Devil, so we're gonna have 6 mana to spend elsewhere. We can get back 3 Scroungers with that much mana. That's going to be 3 more creatures. So we can have 1, 2, 3. We're going to be close, if not there exactly. We actually can get 1 more mana. We can get 10 mana if we want by sacking something to the tower. Okay, well we get a claim. That's going to do it, I think. Yeah. So they're not all tapped out, but they're basically tapped out. Bolt in the Blood Crypt. Claim Uro. Well, now we can claim the Krasis. Hit them for 2 more, and really seal the deal. Okay, they go to 6. Nice Scrounger. Yeah, we just win here. Yeah, that's how you do it. Ladies and gents. Eating Sultai. Control.